Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks so much for stopping by today. Today I'm participating in a fun hop. This one is all about mermaids. It is hosted by Teresa Russell, and it is a hashtag hop. So if you click on that hashtag in my description, you will be directed towards everybody that is participating in this hop. Teresa is holding a giveaway, a mermaid-themed giveaway, and so if you're interested in entering to win that giveaway, go ahead and leave a comment below. I am using this stamp by Pink Ink Designs. It's called Mermaid Nautical Series, and I used the stamp last year, if you will recall, but I only used the tail portion. I used the tail kind of coming out of the water on a card, and this time I'm going to use more of the mermaid body portion. This is a fairly big stamp though, so I will be using a 6x6 piece of Canson XL watercolor paper, and there I was just holding up a slimline size card, which it would fit actually really nicely on. So I grabbed my Misty and I am going to ink the stamp up in some VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and I went ahead and I stamped it several times. Watercolor paper, because of its texture, usually you can't get a great stamp on the first try, so I probably stamped this at least 2 or 3 times to get all of the details of the stamp, but overall it stamped up really well. As you can see, that was the first stamp right there, and it did a great job. And then I'm going to take my heat tool and dry that ink just to make sure that when I do the next step, it is not going to smear. Sometimes that VersaFine pigment ink will react to the masking fluid that I'm going to use, and it does a little bit on this, but I had it fairly dry to make sure that it didn't do that. So I am going to use this Nouveau masking fluid. I used this in another video recently, and so I thought I'd go ahead and pull it out again. You can find the masking fluid if you don't have any in Michael's in the art supply department. This is something I ordered online, and I am just taking it and taking a paintbrush. I have put it on a piece of plastic, and then I am dipping my paintbrush in that and just basically painting on the masking fluid in the areas that I want, which is mainly the skin area and the seahorse and the little starfish and some other little elements. And then I'm going to dip it in the masking fluid and just kind of make streaks on my paper of masking fluid, so when I take that off, it'll have kind of a distressed look almost. And I let that masking fluid dry, so dry until the point where it's tacky, but not wet, so wet that you can move it. And then I am going to use some Ken Oliver color bursts. I believe the colors I used are mahogany and peony, and these have a lot of little clumps in them, I feel like, and so I'm taking my brush to kind of break those up and get that color to move. Maybe I didn't have enough water, I'm not really sure. These are fairly new to me. I haven't been using them for that long. I have a lot of other watercolor powders that I absolutely love, but these were a little bit different, and so I got a few of them. I really liked the vibrancy of the color, and I wanted a watercolor powder that was not shimmery, because most of mine are shimmery, but they're one of my favorite products and I absolutely love using them. So I spritzed the watercolor panel with water, and then I applied the powder. I don't know if I said that or not, but if I didn't, there you go. And then I activate that with water, and then I'm adding a little bit of turquoise here, which creates this really pretty kind of shades of purple and of dark blue, and I just really love the way that looks. So I'm just moving my panel around. I turned it upside down and spritzed it again. I used a ton of water on this, and Canson XL watercolor paper isn't the best paper to use with tons of water, and so I end up ripping this later on in the video. You will see that I do kind of end up ripping the paper a little bit because I did put so much water on it, but I really love the colors that come out of this. And so I'm going to dry a little bit, and then I will take my water bottle and I will spritz it again and kind of mop up a little bit of the water, and then repeat that process until I have the look of the background that I want. This wasn't intentional to have her face kind of almost in a light and the rest of it dark, but that's just the way that it turned out, and that's the beauty. To me, anyhow, that is the beauty of these kinds of products that are just unpredictable and organic and just really super pretty. So I went ahead and I used Peruvian blue in the canaliver, and I'm just trying to put that on her body portion, and so I'm just spreading that around with my paintbrush. And then once I have dried that, I'm just taking a cloth and kind of wiping off a little bit of that ink off of the masking fluid. Kind of acts as a resist, so I was just wiping a little bit of that off. And then I'm going to remove the masking fluid, and to do that I am just rubbing my fingers along all of the areas where the masking fluid was. It comes off super easily, and this is where I ripped the paper right there. As you can see, but it ends up working out because I did have that masking fluid on, so it just makes it look like it was intentional, and I'm totally fine with that. And then isn't this the cutest little thing? It's a little ladybug vacuum. I watched this artist on YouTube, or her name is Jenlee Mano, and she uses this all the time, mostly for like eraser stuff. But it is super helpful for picking up the little things that are on your desk, like glitter, embossing powder, and that was just it was just picking up all of those little pieces of masking fluid. But it's one of those products that I never thought I needed, but it is so super handy. And then to fill in some color in her skin, I am using my Zig Brush Markers. And I don't know if you can see or not. I don't know if I didn't get enough masking fluid on her hand area and kind of where that seahorse is. But there is ink that leaked under there, or I didn't let it dry well enough. Something happened, and there is some ink from that those watercolor powders in areas that I didn't mean for it to get. But I tried to fix it a little bit with some acrylic paint, and then I try and hide a little bit also with these sentiments. But this acrylic paint is a Prima, I think it's the Art Alchemy. I purchased this when Michaels used to sell these items. And I am so sad that Michaels, it doesn't seem that they really sell that much card making or different products like these now. It's like a huge Cricut store, which I don't have a Cricut, so that doesn't help me out too much. At any rate, this color is called Dragon's Eye. It's a really pretty gold, and I'm just taking a brush and going over actually a lot of these different areas with that gold. I think it makes it look really pretty. And then I put it on her arm and her hand where that ink leaked, and so I felt I had to add it to her body as well. And so I did, and I added it to the flower and the little band in her hair, and then some dots all around the card. And then I am taking this Holtz Sentiment set, these stickers. I added a few of them, one on the hand to try and cover up that area a little bit. And that will finish off the card. This was actually a pretty quick card to create, and I love how it turned out. So I hope you do too. If you did like this video or find it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to watch the others that are participating in this hop. This is actually a 3-day hop. I only joined in on the 3rd day. I couldn't do the first 2 days. And so there's lots of mermaid inspiration out there, and I encourage you to check it out. As always, thank you so much for stopping by today, and I hope to see you next time.